First at 5 tonight, we are working developing news in the Deflategate saga we've been tracking since last season. Just 1 day before the preseason kicks off, the NFL, the Players Union, and the New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady headed to a Manhattan courtroom today.
They're there for a hearing over the 4-game suspension Brady received for using underinflated footballs. Now, we've learned settlement talks continued well after the public hearing ended. Eyewitness News sports director Yanni Caracas was the only local reporter in the courtroom, and he's live in New York City tonight at the Manhattan Federal Courthouse with the developing details.
Shannon, Roger Goodell, Tom Brady, and a federal court judge remain in that courtroom behind me as we speak. Another lengthy day in this Deflategate saga. I was in the courtroom this morning just after about 10:20. Roger Goodell walked in with 5 other gentlemen. Tom Brady also walked in shortly thereafter, very stoic in nature, accompanied by 5 men. When the 2 teams couldn't independently come to a settlement with Judge Berman, the hearing began, and that's when the day unfolded. There was no last-minute settlement this morning for Tom Brady and Roger Goodell, as both the NFL and NFLPA met independently with Judge Richard Berman for more than 20 minutes apiece. Once the hearing began, the judge cross-examined both sides. First, he went after the NFL, represented by lawyer Daniel Nash. When Berman probed about any direct evidence Tom Brady was part of the alleged deflation of footballs, Nash acknowledged there was no smoking gun. Judge Berman also acknowledged this was a one-time act and that Brady's stats improved in the second half of the AFC Championship game. He also questioned the NFL about its independence in the Wells investigation. Turning the tables to Brady's camp, the judge inquired why the Patriots equipment workers would deflate a football without their quarterback's knowledge. And in an about-face, Kessler admitted that Brady destroying his phone could have, quote, been done better, considering he had nothing to hide. And while Brady was generally emotionless during the whole hearing, there was a light moment in which Kessler said Tom Brady destroys his phone being a celebrity. It's the nature of the privacy, at which point he said to the judge, you and I can't relate to that. And Judge Berman took offense to it, joking, of course. Much more coming up on Eyewitness News at 6. We are still waiting for Tom Brady and Roger Goodell to exit that courtroom behind me, potentially a lawyer to speak. We'll have all that new for you as it develops. Live in New York City, I'm Yanni Caracas, Eyewitness News.
We begin with developing news on the Deflategate investigation.
Tom Brady has left the building where today's federal court hearing took place in New York City. The Patriots quarterback and NFL commissioner appeared before a judge today for hours in a dispute over his 4-game suspension. Sketches from court are making waves on social media where people are comparing this illustration of Brady to a zombie, Lurch Adams, and E.T. Eyewitness Sports Director Yanni Caracas is the only local reporter who is inside the courtroom today. He joins us now live in Manhattan.
Shannon, Deflategate, of course, ongoing. Still no word of a settlement. Brady walked into this federal courtroom where I sat this morning at about 10:20, mostly stoic, and he remained emotionless throughout most of the hearing. With no afternoon settlement, Brady finally walked out shortly after 5:20, flashed a little bit of a smile, as did Commissioner Roger Goodell. If you can take anything away from that, we just don't know, as Deflategate still has no conclusion. Sir. Instead of preparing for a preseason game tomorrow night in Foxborough, Tom Brady entered federal court this morning looking for his 4-game suspension to be erased. But when no settlement was reached prior to the hearing, both the NFL and NFLPA had their respective lawyers cross-examined by Judge Richard Berman, who admitted he didn't understand the gate in Deflategate. First, he questioned NFL lawyer Daniel Pash, wondering why there wasn't direct evidence of Brady's involvement. No smoking gun, so to speak. And surely the balls provided no advantage to Brady's performance in the AFC Championship game. Nash said Brady not cooperating and the 10,000 texts that were used as evidence would infer further evidence of culpability. On the other side, a passionate Jeffrey Kessler, representing Tom Brady, admitted that Brady shouldn't have destroyed his phone as was advised by Brady's lawyer Don Yee, but that he did it commonly as a celebrity. He also said the NFL's independence was compromised and that any involvement with the ball boys would be them freelancing on their own. Throughout the case, Brady sat emotionless, perhaps wondering how Deflategate has gotten this far. So barring a last-minute settlement here, it looks like we'll be at this very spot 1 week from today for the second of these hearings.
Yanni, you were the only local reporter in court for today's hearing. Who do you think won or lost today's hearing?
It's tough to declare a winner and loser in the hearing, especially because we didn't hear the settlement talks, but two different styles. Jeffrey Kessler representing Brady, very passionate. He was joking, very animated, and the NFL's lawyer was very by the book. I would say the judge was particularly tough on the NFL because everything the NFL has, of course, is circumstantial. Terms like generally aware don't really fly in a federal courtroom, but of course, Roger Goodell, as the commissioner, can use those terms because in the collective bargaining agreement, essentially, the commissioner has all the power to legislate that. Live in New York City tonight, I'm Yanni Caracas. Much more coming up in sports. Back to you.
All right, some great insight from Yanni. Yanni, thank you. And you can count on Eyewitness News reporters for continuing coverage of the Deflategate investigation. We'll bring you all the latest developments as the case continues to unfold on the air and online at WPRI.com.
And you can see the Patriots in action tomorrow night. New England will take on the Green Bay Packers, and their preseason home opener coverage starts at 7:30. You can watch the game and the rest of the team's preseason matchups on MyRI TV.